This is Naija Unfiltered on SYMFONI TV. My name is Olawale Oluwade. My guest is His Royal Highness Anabs Sara-Igbe, the pioneer spokesman and Board of Trustees member of the Pan Niger Delta Forum and Rivers Elders and Leadership Forum. He is also a traditional ruler and an elder statesman. Your Royal Highness, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you again. Let's get right into our conversation, sir, without further delay. The political rift between FCT Minister, former governor of Rivers State, Wike, and his political godson, Governor Fubara, has reached a critical stage, despite a subsisting reconciliation effort by President Tinubu. Give us the true reality or picture of state of affairs in Rivers State politically now.
Well, we have seen people picking form. The governor has picked his form. One of the allied of Wike has also picked the form.
Who is this person?
The person of Alamo Kelly George. And we've also seen Toyo Cole picking form. Well, that's democracy. Everybody should be given an opportunity to try his luck. But I can tell you for free, if the governor picks the ticket, it will be difficult for other parties because the governor has a grassroots support and it's organic. The governor is not somebody who buys people or who is willing to fight. Rivers people are not happy with the way Wike is trying to control the state. And we are not also happy the way he's running everything because we observe that he has no other interest for Rivers State but other than how to control our resources. He has ruled for 8 years. And so many of us were not satisfied with his leadership, even though he prided himself as Mr. Project. The project he can call himself and the flyovers he built. There are no significant projects that touches the life of many common people in Rivers State. 8 years he ruled without budget. We had not seen budget. Nobody had any story. No bidding. Jobs were awarded anyhow he likes. And nobody quarrels with him. Today is a turn of shame. He has been fighting this young man. The entire state is not happy. And if you observe, most of the people today who are supporting SIM are doing so because they are not happy with the way and manner the minister of FCTA is going about the entire process. We have told him, if you brought this boy, and today he's a governor and he's doing well, pride yourself that the person I brought is doing well in the state. He has distributed projects all over the state, major projects, very expensive projects. And like the Unity Road, the flyover he has been doing, the Trans-Calabari Road, there is no section of the state that has not benefited from him before the emergency rule. And ever since the emergency rule, you don't allow this young man to administer the state. Today, you say you want to impeach him. Tomorrow, you don't want to impeach him. And the man is not ready to fight you. He will ask everybody not to fight. He asks everybody to calm down. That he's not fighting anybody. And yet, you don't allow him to rest. Our elder says, if you pursue a chick, you might fall and break a leg. Yes, or Wike should allow this man. He brought Just Kelly. Let them go for the primaries. You should also realize that the general election will be determined by the people of Rivers State and not few persons and picked persons. If the Governor Fubara want to showcase, I can tell you, if he says move, you will see thousands of Rivers people coming out to the street or coming out to the rally ground and say they are supporting him. The only problem we have with SIM is this attitude of peace, peace, peace. Even somebody is putting hands into your eyes, you will still say, allow him to put it. This level of Christianity is something else. In the period of the crisis, there were opportunities to even jail the assembly members. He refused to do that. If it were to be some of these people who are with Wike today, Wike cannot enter Port Harcourt. They will fight him not to enter Port Harcourt. But Sim refused. This young man has refused to fight you. He has obeyed you. He has done so much for you. Even before he became governor, he was protecting your interest. When the EFCC were looking for him, what are they looking for him? It's you. You have amassed so much wealth. You have never worked in any place. You never worked anywhere. You came out from the law school, you became the council chairman. From council chairman, you became a chief of staff. From chief of staff, you became a minister of state. From minister of state, you became a governor. And governor, you're a minister. If you aggregate all your salaries today and equate it to your investment, one would be wondering, where are you getting this money? The young man is ready to probe you, despite how you looted the state. He did not want to probe you. And he allowed you to go. Why don't you go quietly? You are destroying PDP. You are destroying every party that is challenging Mr. President. You are destroying them. You chase everybody at the state. Okay, you have pursued him to go to APC. He's in the APC. Why are you not allowing him to rest? That is a question every Rivers man asks. So, for today, if there's election, free and fair election, I don't think anybody Wike is bringing can get 10% of what Sim will get, because it's organic. But the problem we have with Sim is stand firm and say, this is what I want. That is the problem Rivers will have with him. In terms of performance, we're happy with him. But this idea of, I want to stand, so that they can queue behind you, is what the problem we have.
Okay, thanks for that, your opening remarks. Now, the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, alleged that in all the peace talks he had, his own camp had with Governor Fubara's camp, specifically the governor himself, Fubara, with Mr. President, for them to stop the impeachment proceedings against him initiated by the legislators, the Rivers State House of Assembly members. The part of that agreement, in fact, he said Fubara had breached most of those agreements. Number two, that one of the conditions for which the legislators, the State House of Assembly members stopped the impeachment was that Governor Sim will not seek re-election in 2027. Now, he says now Sim is going back on that agreement by seeking re-election. What do you say about that?
The Constitution is the fulcrum of all the laws in this country. The Constitution gives him the first right of refusal to go for second tenure or not to go for second tenure. And whatever discussions they are having, the Rivers people are not aware of it. BK has not briefed Rivers State, neither has Sim briefed Rivers State of their discussions. All we had was peace. The initial agreement we had, the Rivers State Elders Forum challenged it in court, up to Supreme Court. Because you cannot tie a man's hand and leg and say, close his mouth, he should not talk. We cannot beat a child and say he should not even cry. That was the situation. So we went to court. The judiciary is the basic problem we have in this country. Today, the judiciary in Nigeria rely more on technicalities than the law itself. And the way they're interpreting the Constitution and the law is worrisome. We don't know whether today they are an appendix of the executive or they are judiciary. The legislature on their part are also behaving as if they are an appendix of the executive. So the theory of separation of power is no longer existing in Nigeria, in the democracy like this, where you cannot beat your chest and say, I'm going to court, I will get fair judgment. Because the judiciary speaks from the two sides of their mouth, including the Supreme Court. So we are worried. And that is where the problem lies. So if we challenge that resolution, and we finally say, okay, let's make peace and there was peace, why not allow the man to rule? He presented commissioners, eminent rivers people who have been in law, who are in the university system, and you rejected all of them. One, oh, you oppose them in the crisis period, so it cannot be. Which section of the law that says if you oppose somebody, you cannot become a commissioner? The constitution is very clear as to the criteria upon which you will be a commissioner or a minister or assembly member or house of rep. Why do we drop the constitution to be personal? Democracy is all about institution, not about person. So that is where we are. So same as the first right of refusal, the law permits him to contest. And I doubt if SIM tells anybody, I will not contest. Rivers people have been asking him. He has not said, I will contest or I will not contest. I've been very silent over it. And for some time, he refused to talk to anybody. So we believe that the people of Rivers State believe that he has performed well. Let him continue to perform what is performing. There is no section of Rivers State today you go to, you will not see the signal or the legacy of SYMFONI within a short while. And a very humble and calm governor. If SYMFONI was to be Nyesom Wike, so many people would have died in Rivers State. Nyesom Wike, in his time, set up so many executive degrees, some executive rules outside the law, and banned everybody even from contesting. SIM is not using those executive orders against Wike. If SIM wants to deal with Wike, I don't think Wike will have even the mouth to say, oh, we'll resolve this, we don't resolve that, because he has immunity. You don't have immunity. And if he wants to deal with you the way you are doing, the way you are recruiting militants to fight, to do things, to make noise, then the way the state will not be at peace. But here we have a calm person who has demonstrated that peace is the best. And so we are following him accordingly. He's not my friend. I don't go to government house, so to say. I'm not a follower. But the fact remains that Rivers people generally are happy with this young man. So why not allow him? That does not mean that there's no credibility in someone like Toyo Cole. Toyo Cole has credibility, but they have not seen his performance. Here is the man they have seen performance. And another issue again, we have this issue of upland river right accountable in Rivers State. The upland have ruled for 24 years. This is the first time in the democracy where a river right man is ruling. You don't allow him to even have peace in his first term. And you want to bring another Ikwere man. Ikweres have ruled for 16 years. And you want to bring another Ikwere man again, as if Ikweres owns Rivers State. It's not possible. They don't own Rivers State. So how can you say Ikwere? They were not even nowhere. I blame myself as one of those who insisted that we give them opportunity. As a leader, I'm coming as a leader. The leadership did not support Ikwere taking over. But I insisted that Rotimi Amechi should be allowed to rule. May his soul rest in peace. They had soul rest in peace. Graham Douglas and Clark, we are not happy with me at that time. But I insisted. At that time, I was like their boy, so whatever I say also on ground. And Amechi ruled. Amechi tenure, 6 months into Amechi tenure, Nyesom Wike said they must be governor. But that's where we disagreed. We are very close friends. We used to be very close. I know his history from beginning to now. And that is why when he said I was marshaled and I replied him, you could not say any word, because I know him back and forth. So he said it must be. And Goodluck Jonathan and his wife, despite the protests from the elders and leadership, refused and imposed him. Today, Goodluck's wife is crying for imposing Wike on Rivers people. And so if Wike is now saying, oh, Sam is ungrateful, what will we say about him and Goodluck's wife? What will you say to him about him and Jonathan? What will you say about him and Amechi? He has been a serial betrayer. So for him to call Sim a betrayer, I still see how it comes from. He has even betrayed Rivers State. I have never seen the governor in Rivers State who exhibit wealth he acquired from the state all over the place. And we say we have institutions like ICPC, we have EFCC, and they close their eyes on this affluence that is being shown. So we are not happy the way it's going about this state. We want Rivers people to be at peace. We want a peaceful election, but it should allow SIM. If APCs feel they will not give ticket to SIM, SIM has opportunity to go to other parties, and you will see how Rivers people will vote.
Now, this last point you made about, the ticket of the state allowing SIM to get a second term, the question is that Barrister Wike has said openly that he cannot reconcile with Governor Sim Fubara because he has reneged, he has betrayed him, he has reneged on several agreements they made, even in the presence of Mr. President. So my question, sir, is that whatever their problems, the problems that Barrister Wike claims they have, are they so irreconcilable? Can they reconcile?
You see, the problem is one party interest is the control of the resources. Rivers State has a very huge revenue. And he wants to control the resources. And if you don't allow him, I'm talking about the FCTC minister, yes, of Wike. He has tested power. He has tested the resources. He controls it and spends it anyhow he likes. So he doesn't want the young man to run the state on his own. He wants to be the one to dictate how the resources are dispersed. And the young man said, look, I have a responsibility to the state. I think that is the bone of contention. Otherwise, I don't see why a man will say he wants to take local government chairman, even when the law is not right. The judiciary closed their eyes, and they gave you local government chairman. Oh, you want to get statutory bodies. Everything you wanted, they have given it to you. And allow the man to, despite you have your structure, nobody is quarreling with your so-called structure. They've given everything to you. So why not allow this man to test his popularity with your structure? The local government chairmen are not even developing the local state. Their local governments are not developed because you're a tax collector, you're collecting all the money. They came out openly to cry. This is the social media. This is the media all over. The local government chairmen protested. Some of them protested that they cannot afford it. Some even went as far as saying how much they're paying to his hotel, whether they stay there or not every month. You have a very big hotel and you're forcing people to pay money into the hotel so that you can use it for elections. And yet the man is not even bothered, is not after what the local government are doing or not. He has never queried them for giving you money, never. Yet you are not satisfied. So what do you want? You want the state in your pocket before you will be happy that yes, he has compromised with you, or he has submitted himself to you, or he has done what you want him to do. I don't think that is fair in a democracy. Rivers people want to get dividend of democracy. We don't want one man. By the way, who is Wike? Or who was Wike that wants to control the state? If the likes of Graham Douglas and the judge, Peter Odele, wants to control the state, will he even come to say he wants to become the controller of Rivers State? People have come and gone. Governors have come and gone. After their tenure, they have no problem with Rivers State. Why must it be you? Why must it be one man? It's a party that brought you from nothing, made you a council local government chairman twice, made you chief of staff, made you minister of state, and governor. Today you have destroyed the party completely. And you are happy that you think you are doing right. In politics, I have been in politics since 1979 till today. When you talk of political parties, we have ideologies. I have never seen a democracy where there's no ideology. A born man is in two parties. You are in opposition, you have the governing party, It's undemocratic. It's not the norm. It's not the political norm all over the world. And if you can betray your own party for another party, what are you talking about, traitor? Who is the traitor in this context? So you want to deceive Rivers people, you want to make Fubara to feel you are all at all. You see, nobody keeps power forever. We came into this world with nothing, and we shall leave nothing. Let's look at Alexander the Great. He conquered almost the whole world. But when he was about to die, he told his people, I have seen it all. If I die, let the physicians carry my coffin. If I die, throw all the coins on the way to my cemetery. If I die, bring my hands out, the coffin, so that people will see that I come to this world with nothing and I go with nothing. I have seen great men who came and they've gone. Look at great men like Abacha, Yaradua. So many of the great men, Zikiwe, Awolowo, they left. Peacefully, they rest. I don't know what Wike is inviting. They want to truncate this democracy. Because what he's not aware of, he's a young boy, what is not aware of Nigeria history, political development. What truncated the past democracy? Why did the First Republic fail? Why did the Second Republic fail? Why did the Third Republic fail? He has never thought of all that. And you think you are heaven on earth. If you close your eyes today, that is the end of it. You are talking of 2007. Do we know how many people that will be alive to 2007? One dynamics can change. You saw what happened to Abacha. As soon as Abacha closed his eyes, all the dynamics changed. Abacha become president. When Abacha died, all those who are saying Abacha must be the president, they abandoned the cause and took another step. So this country has been there. We want peace in this country. We want democracy to evolve and develop in this country. We don't want this gra. Gra is not democracy. People should speak their mind through their vote. They must vote, not by force, not by influencing the judiciary to give fake judgments and so on. We need free and fair election. And that goes to mind. The Senate, on the National Assembly, the amendment of the Electoral Act gave room for rigging. When people are saying, let there be electronic transmission, you are saying manual, so they can inflate vote and do whatever you like with manual. That is where they have hope. But physically, the way the country is going, Nigerians are not happy, with particularly Wike, across the country. River State, they are not happy with him. So how can he win when people are not happy with him?
Sir, when the second round of hostilities between FCC Minister Nyesom Wike and Governor Fubara broke out, what the FCC Minister was saying was that my structure, that you will not allow anybody to take his structure, his political structure from him. And then he said, he made a mistake in 2023 by presenting Fubara, that mistake will be corrected, and that he himself alone will determine who's going to be the next governor of Rivers State. And people were alarmed, expected so that why can the one man be saying only he will determine? What's the response to this?
The Bible says, no man should take the glory of God upon himself. You cannot determine the fate of a state, of a country. That is the power of God. You don't have your life. Your life is in the hand of God. So how can you say without me? So if you drop dead today, what happens? No, I'm not saying you should die, but if somebody dies today, what will be the consequence of what the person says will happen? You want a structure. They've given you all the structures. You got all the structures, they want for free and fair election, and you lost. You have twisted the man and asked the Supreme Court to cancel the election. Even though we don't know the laws they used, but we are not happy with it. And you came, you said, there was not enough notice. That election gave enough notice, more than the one you conducted. They still allow you have your way. And yet you are not satisfied. So go with your structure, cook your structure, and eat your structure. Let Rivers people speak on whom they want. You said rainbow coalition. You are bringing the candidate from the opposition, you are bringing the candidate from the ruling. Why are you worried about this vanity? Everything in this side is vanity upon vanity. So why are you bothered? Now you are losing PDP. You are also losing APC. So where will you stand? Because our people says, any child who sleep in both houses, one day will sleep outside. They will lock the person out. And that is what exactly is going on. So PDP you are destroying has chased you out. The APC, you refuse to join, and yet you want to control it. Abba, it's not done. But let's see how the whole thing will play out. But we are not happy in Rivers State. But I can assure you that if same, whichever party, the APC or any party that same appears, Rivers people will vote for him. And if he whips up, he has not set up his machineries. Even the syndicate, the similar, all the movement he had, he has disbanded all of them. The day same comes out to Rivers people, and I said, I want all my structures to come out. You see millions of Rivers people coming out to say we are for sale. But up to this moment, he's not talking to anybody. He has not said anything. So why is Wike worried? The boy has not said anything to anybody. We are all waiting for him to speak out. He has not even told us he's going for election. Only that the media, they are bought from for him and so on. He has not. So why are you worried? Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid of the man? Why not wait till we go to the field? If she want to show capacity, if she really want to show capacity, like this, you see millions of Rivers people coming out, free. They will come out in the street will full. He has not done politically engineering to say I'm contesting. Until we see when he tells us. He has not told us he wants to contest election. And Rivers people are waiting.
Let me ask you, Your Royal Highness, what is your own understanding why Governor Sim would seem to be so laid back? Because I'm trying to understand or remember any governor, that would allow their predecessor in office, push them to the wall and, try to beat them down as much as Governor Fubara.
Well, I've told you the man is a peaceful person. And you can see he's silent. Silent is golden, and silent is powerful. For Wike, he has conquered. And the person is not talking. Now you are the one shouting everywhere. The person has not told you anything. He has not said anything, but he's just silent. He has not talked to anybody. He has not spoken to any Rivers man, this is my ambition or this is what I want to be. You can see his form was not bought by him.
He has not granted any media interview or anything.
He has not said anything. And yet you are worried. Why are you worried? Because you know that you don't have capacity. You just make propaganda. And propaganda is not the end of the game. We must see the game clearly. We have not said anything. Let's him tell Rivers people, and Nigerians will see. The whole world will see. If SIM is the type of Wike, even the emergency rule cannot take place, because he will show that if you do it, the foundation of Nigeria will shake. But it's reserved. It's just allow things to go. I told you about instances where we are to jail the assembly members for perjury and other things. He refused to take action. If we went to court on his behalf, up to Supreme Court, he never wanted to give us 1 naira to support us. We say, just leave it, just leave it. Let's let God's wish be done. And you are worried. Why are you worried?
And now, speaking specifically about Governor Fubara, why is he delaying in coming out? Because you're an elder statesman, a Rivers elder. If someone of your stature does not even know exactly where the governor stands, is that not, just throwing up the towel and saying, I give up?
He has told everybody to remain calm. Nobody should fight.
The time is
Nobody should speak. Nobody should talk.
Yes.
We should allow them to play the game. Nomination will come. party will choose their candidates. Thereafter, there will be reactions. He has asked everybody not to. All those which we think you are working for him, you support him, please don't speak. Whatever I'm speaking today is because I speak as an elder statesman. Otherwise, I'm not speaking for SIM. I'm speaking for the interest of Rivers State. How Rivers people are feeling. I have nothing against Kelly George. I have nothing against Toyin Cole. Of course, you know Toyin Cole's father. Dele Cole was my Oga. I served him for several years. So I have nothing against him. But the reality on ground is what I'm telling you. You see, there's a way a child will behave, that his actions, everything will be adhered to him. Because he's not a proud person. Yeah. He's not arrogant. So you can see that, oh, who is this guy? Action speaks louder than voice. His action within this few period has demonstrated the fact that he really comes to develop Rivers State. And you are trying to stop him. You are asking several demands. You collected 350 million constituency project. We have not seen what you have done. The North State said they want 1 billion. Now you are saying 10 billion before budget will be passed. And the man said, okay, let us stay. So what kind of demand? You don't have interest of Rivers State at heart. Wike is just crying foul. Okay, you said assembly is not complete. Assembly is completed. You will now operate in assembly. Go and sit in assembly. Let me present budget. He said no. So why are you becoming a bottleneck? You are a problem to the governor. And he doesn't want to react in a way that people will take over the matter and it becomes something else. So allow things to go and come.
Okay, sir, let's move away from Rivers issue and come to the national. Does the South-South region of Nigeria, a very potent voting region, who determines what happens politically in Nigeria, what's your strategy for 2027?
Well, presently, I think what the Niger Delta needs is the remediation and restoration of our land. You see, politics, everybody's talking about politics. Government come, government go. Our environment is polluted. We are not happy. We have a lot of oil and gas in Niger Delta that can last Nigeria for the next 100 years if we are lifting 10 million barrels every day. We cannot finish it in the next 100 years. That's the level of fossil oil we have on the ground. All right? And yet, we cannot even produce 2,000.
2 million.
That will be 2 million per day. We cannot meet up with open quotas when we have enough reserve. The environment has been polluted, and the oil majors are all leaving the Niger Delta. So what is our concern? Our concern today is for the various stakeholders, the Ministry of Environment, the oil companies that polluted the environment, the NDDC, and the state governors coming together and use the modern remediation tools and equipment to ensure that the area is cleaned and the land is restored to its normal status and agriculture is applied, and we can now receive carbon credit for all these activities. That is the major interest of the Niger Delta. In this case, we have had our problem, militancy, Beke, all fight. We have come to the stage whereby we want to appeal to Mr. President. If you want our support, take our remediation seriously. Take the restoration of our land seriously by directing the Minister of Environment, the NDDC, the NUPRC, to direct all the oil companies to participate, and the governors of the region also participate. Let us use microbiological system to clean the environment. We have seen what's going on in Ogodi cleanup for how many years? Ogodi land has not been restored. So much has been spent. We don't want that method. There are microbiological systems that can apply now that will be able to clean up environment faster and restore the land faster. This is what Niger Delta needs before we talk of politics, before we talk of election. You have not done things that will make us happy. You are not producing enough oil because of this problem. Why don't we, as a people, as a government, think of how we can generate enough revenue? The taxes you are imposing on us, we're not supposed to pay taxes like that. We saw how Gaddafi ruled Libya. At least there were enough resources. School fees were free, electricity was free, because he had a lot of resources. We have crude oil, enough crude oil. You have not been able to mobilize enough seismic operation. You have not been able to go into a full exploration. You have not been able to ensure that there's production, enough production, to raise more funds for the country. You are busy election without economy. Where will it end us? So please, we are appealing to all these bodies, the Federal Ministry of Environment, the State Ministry of Environment, NDDC, and the oil companies to come together. The Pan Niger Delta Forum is thinking of setting up an environmental conference where all these bodies will be invited, including expatriates from America and Australia, to come and address us on how best we can clean the Niger Delta. I think government should look into this Niger Delta issue. That is what will interest us, and that is what will make us to say, oh, this is the person we are going to vote or we are not going to vote.
This matter you touched, environmental pollution and degradation of the Niger Delta region, is a very serious. Ken Saro-Igbe and his group lost their lives because of this agitation. But there's this counter-argument that so much money is being given to the Niger Delta states, the region. You have the NDDC, you have the states, then you have extra 13% apart from FAC, you have 13% derivation, so on and so on. Now you even have additionally South Development Commission and all of that. NDDC alone has gotten over 1.5 trillion naira. And people are asking, there is no commensurate results from what has been given and what is on ground in terms of poverty index, in terms of development, in terms of even cleaning up the environment. How do you respond to this?
You see, we have seen it all. And that is why we are saying, for us to clean, there must be synergy. There must be collaboration. And it is when these bodies come together that we can have results. You want to develop, or you are building road, you are building that, fine. If the environment is not remediated, if you don't restore the land back to its original state, and we look at the fishing, we have the fish, the sea, the Atlantic Ocean. Those who are living in this country at the upstream to the Atlantic, the old pollution still come back to the Niger Delta. And we are no longer into fishery. We want you to restore this. As soon as you do this, you create employment. You create farm. You create so many things for us. And that was enough. The money you are giving us, we are not seeing it. The 30%, we have queried it. The Niger Delta people are suffering, despite all these things you have said. We have not seen anything. We don't want to fight. Just come and restore our land to its original state. Help us to involve in agriculture so that we can employ our children, we can produce food, we can produce enough fish, and feed ourselves the way we used to feed ourselves. Before you talk of infrastructures and this and that. But I can tell you, the infrastructures they said they are building, the oil-bearing communities are not seeing it. I am from the oil-bearing community. I am from Kola. Kola has 4 oil blocks.
In River State?
In River State. Kola has 4 oil blocks. Go and see that community. There's no water, there's no electricity, there is no road. Bile has a lot of oil they are producing. There is no road to Bile. K has a lot of oil. There is no road to K. There's no road to Edama. There's no road to Abisa. Look, Soku. Soku, the road to Soku is very short. There is no road there. And these are the people producing the oil and gas that is making the money. And yet you are paying 30% derivation, you are paying NGDC or South Commission, and these things are not there. And tomorrow, if our youths get up and say, we don't want oil to be produced, you say they are troublemakers. So that's why we are appealing. The region is now appealing to all these agencies and the federal government to ensure that there is a cleanup. That is our major problem now. Anything you are telling me about governance or no governance doesn't make sense for Niger Delta. If our environment is cleaned and we can live our life without knowing who is the governor, without knowing who is the president, I think we'll be all right.
There's this other argument about the leadership, the political leadership of the Niger Delta region for years, especially in this fourth republic in the last 27 years. I mean, you have referenced FCT Minister Nyesom Wike severally. That is, he has amassed so much wealth. And that has been one of the arguments. I mean, former Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, the leader of late Pa Edwin Clark, wrote a petition personally to the FCC that they cannot account for 13 trillions of naira, personally against Ifeanyi Okowa. I don't know what is the state of that petition. So this argument, is it not to be directed at the leaders, the political leaders of Niger Delta over the decades, who have frittered away the wealth of that region, mismanaged the political system and all of that?
You see, the problem we have in Nigeria, when power is given to some persons, they see it as a personal gain. In the Niger Delta, a group of people came and they have been fighting for the Niger Delta. Those who do not know how we got 30% derivation fund, those who do not know how we got NDDC, those who do not know how we got all these institutions are aiding it. And when they aid these institutions, and some of the governors don't even know how we got to where we are, they don't know the needs of the people. They became big boys, they make new friends and new girlfriends, take contract and give to their girlfriends, and tomorrow they come, they want to do this, they want this, they don't want that. We have seen examples where they are chased out in their communities in some cases. Because when they get to power, they don't even remember. Can you imagine? You took loan to build railway to Niger Republic, yet there is no railway from the south-south to Abuja. Even the one Obasanjo built to Itakpe, from Warri to Itakpe, you cannot say, let me drag it to Abuja. They are not interested. So we have a problem. Those of us in Pandev, we had a 16-point agenda with former Mr. President. The former Vice President toured around the Niger Delta, made some promises, and at the end of the day, the Minister of Petroleum, Minister of State Petroleum, a Niger Delta son, killed it.
Timothy Silva.
Not Timothy Silva.
Okay. Which one?
I think, what do you call him? Kachuku.
Okay, see, Emmanuel Ibe Kachuku.
Kachuku killed it and came with 20-point agenda that is not up to 3% of what we are talking. At the end of the day, he was sacked. He came and changed the NNPC rules and everything. And what happened? Look at the NNPC, for example.
I'm coming there. Let me just ask you now. It's good point you mentioned. NNPC is in the eye of the storm again. Under Timothy Silva, under Buhari, second term of Buhari, they say, oh, they want to do rehabilitation of the NNPC. President Obasanjo had said it over a decade that NNPC, those refineries cannot be resuscitated. They should be sold. He sold it in 2007 to Dangote, but Yar'Adua was deceived, and then he rescinded the sale. And then the NNPC, the refineries continue to fail. Timothy Silva convinced Buhari that they can do magic with those, refineries. They awarded the contract to a foreign company from Italy and all of that. There's a probe going on now. Now, the new man there now is now coming up again to say, oh, they have brought Chinese people to sign agreements. Sir, what is the future? What's the feeling of the Niger Delta people to NNPC?
Let me tell you something. I was among those who said Melekari should be sacked. I gave reasons why I said it should be removed. After a long fight and quarrel, it was removed. And we asked Mr. President, if you remove this man, put a Niger Delta person to look after the NNPC. You see, the refineries are the key segment of the oil and gas, because we don't know how you sell your crude oil. If we are getting kerosene, if we are getting PMS, if we are getting diesel, if we are getting the lubricants, the low pump fuel oil, high pump fuel oil, the gasoline, and all these things that we need, if we can produce them here, Nigerians will be happy. You would not take our crude oil, go and sell it, bring it back through, pay freight to take it out, pay freight to bring it back, pay all the charges, and increase our fuel. Today, Nigerian fuel is one of the most expensive, yet we are producing oil and gas. If a Niger Delta person is there, the first priority will be, how do we clean up the place? How do we produce more oil and gas? And the more we produce, the more we have money, we can now say, okay, certain percentage should be left for refining in Nigeria. And we are not going to look at the international market. This kind of crude oil, this is our benchmark. So that the average Nigerian will be able to get kero at cheap price, will be able to get PMS at cheap price, will be able to get diesel at cheap price, will be able to get even the petrochemical. The Warri petrochemical has been down for over 30 years. And we are not thinking of how to revive it. I can tell you, before this new mine came, Warri Refinery was 95% complete. I am close to Warri Refinery very well. They were set to start. Since Bayo came, has he ever visited the refinery, discussed with them, and know what is the problem? Port Harcourt Refinery has started. It's like a car. When the car has been packed for some time and you repair it, you cannot repair everything. By some time it will be leg, sometime it will be one problem or the other. Provided the engine is working, every other thing you can put them small. He came and sacked all the MDs, accused them of fraud. He has not been able to prove. One. And came up with the bogus contract again. 2.8 billion was spent. Daewoo is still a worry. Daewoo is a Korean company. And they have been able to build this refinery very well. Refinery, I know it. As I speak to you, if you ask Warri Refinery to start, they will start. But the big people want to use it to collect more money, award more contract, and will suffer us. I can tell you the Niger Deltas are not happy. Because the Warri Refinery and Pan Niger Refinery gave us a lot of employment and opportunities. But those opportunities are no longer there. You kill it for political reasons and tell us you want to contract it to another Chinese. What happens to the Korean? The wood that is a Warri Refinery. What happens to them?
So is it about the Niger Delta heading those refineries, or because, sorry sir, the Minister for State currently is Hanakin Nokobiri. Timothy Silva was there. Edmond Dakoro. I can give you a long list.
Let me tell you,
and all of them.
When Chamberlain Oyubo was the GMD, when King Dakoro was the GMD, when Lulumare was the GMD, these are the Niger Delta people. NNPC was running smoothly. If you walk into an NNPC, you will understand that you are in the oil company. NNPC is like every other national oil company across the world. But you brought people who don't understand the dynamics of how this oil company works. And what they did is money, and they killed the whole system. So that is where we are. If you have people who have art, if you bring a Niger Delta person, he knows the importance of pollution to the people. And because the Niger Delta son or daughter, the people will cooperate with him. If there are problems, you don't need escort. He will just go in there and say, what is the problem? Let us talk as brothers and sisters. I want to revive the oil industry. You'll be free to work anywhere. You can't talk of militants. You can't talk of kidnappers because you are part of them.
President Jonathan was Niger Delta and was president of Nigeria. Desani was one of the most powerful oil ministers. But sir, let's wrap up. Politics now. I asked you earlier on. Let's tidy up with this.
We want the NNPC, the Bayo cannot run an NNPC.
Okay, Mr. Bayo
cannot run an NNPC because if you want to run an NNPC, he would have gone to the NNPC. The refineries, he has never visited the refinery, but he's going to Dangote refinery. You are children, you've not given them food. You are going to give food to somebody else. Can you run them?
Don't you support the privatization of the refineries? They should sell it.
Sell it to themselves. Our common asset. Let me tell you, this was what they said about petrochemical. They deliberately killed it and sold it to themselves. Is deliberately chemical not working? Is NAFCO not working? We don't want them to take this equipped facility that is owned by Nigerians.
The NLNG business model has been advised. Nigeria, let private sector people with their competence and whatever take 51%. Let Nigeria owns 49%, but let competent people run those refineries.
Yes, we agree. But you cannot sell an old car for a fair price.
So we should waste money?
We are not wasting money. I said the refineries are about to start. I know it. The refineries today, the level of the refinery, the way the refineries have been rehabilitated, just give them time, start, they will start. It's the bureaucracy is what is killing the refinery.
I'm sure Mr. Bayo.
When the refinery, Bayo knows that I'm always talking. I don't have any regard for him. Because what we expect him to do, he has not even visited the Niger Delta at GMD to say, my people, the oil is coming from your place. I want to increase production to 5 million barrels, to 10 million barrels. I want your cooperation. If he really wants the oil industry to thrive, that is what we expect him to do. He should be consulted. He has never done that. He despised the Niger Delta. Bayo despised the Niger Delta. And today, if you go to the NNPC, all the people from Niger Delta have been relegated to the background. So he despises us. He has never visited the refinery to ask them questions. What is wrong with you? You can't stay outside and say, the refinery is not working. I want another contract. That is not how things are done. What has it done to exploration? Seismic operations are not working. What is it doing to make sure we get more oil and gas? These are the things I think we should be concerned about, not selling or not. Even if you bring the expertise, bring the best hands, if you don't do these things, the refineries will be down. The NNPC will not be working. People are sucking the country dry through an NNPC. They have 210 trillion naira to account for by the audit report, Senate audit report. They have not been able to account for that. And we're talking about selling, giving out to themselves, like they did with the Delaware Petrochemical, or they did with NAFCON. Is that what Nigerians are going to see?
Anyway, the Chinese arrangement is an MOU, a memorandum of understanding, not a sale. So hopefully,
we are the people behind it. Forget we are now Nigerians. We will know.
Let's round up.
Let them work. Let the refinery work. But I said, the way Melchiori ruined the NNPC, that is how Bayo will ruin the NNPC. Until you bring somebody within the NNPC to manage an NNPC, and NNPC will not go anywhere.
Melchiori was from NNPC.
He was from the periphery of NNPC. He never worked in the midstream. He never worked. He doesn't know how the refineries operate. Let me tell you. No, I want to tell you clearly. NNPC have a culture. The subsidiaries, they either have what we call MESCOM or Management Tender Committee. They approve at least $2 billion. But Melchiori came and said, even 10,000 naira, they want to see it. You can't run a big organization like this and allow it to grow.
Let's make progress. Let's round up. Political issue. President Tinubu is done 3 years now, by 29th of this month. Give him a score. 1 to 10, give him a score.
Well, I can say there's hunger in the country.
Hunger? But you don't look hungry, sir.
There's hunger in the country. Mr. President should know how he runs the place. Insecurity is another major problem we have. He has not been able to address the insecurity problem. The hunger issue is there. The fuel price is going up every day because of the inefficiency in the NNPC sector. These are the areas we will expect him to handle before he asks for second term. I am not the person to vote for him. Like I said, if you can do the remediation for us, Niger Delta people will be happy. But Nigerians generally, we have a food scarcity because there is no agriculture caused by insecurity. And that is why we are saying, don't allow them not only to produce food, restore our environment so that we can also produce food. If there's crisis in one part of the country, other part of the country should be able to provide food. So food scarcity is there, there's insecurity there, and for him to allow Wike to do what he's doing, it's also another problem we have in this country. Until he addresses these things, Nigerians will look at him with two eyes. So let him address it. I don't have anything against him. We have said presidency should be in the South for 8 years. He should not disappoint the Southerners.
So you don't mind him going for a second term?
Well, it's his own constitutional right. His own constitutional right to contest for second term.
But any of the candidates that promised to do remediation of the Niger Delta environment?
It's our darling.
Fantastic.
That's our darling. If you want to remediate our environment, and you can actually do it, not promising and not doing it. If you can do that for us, the people of Niger Delta will be happy. If you can reform an NPC, if you can reform, not just clean it, if you can reform an NPC, get environment to be serious with the environmental laws and protect our environment, we are with you. We will support you to produce as much as 10,000 barrels of crude, 10 million barrels of crude oil per day. That's our concern. Because if we have that, everything will be well for Nigeria.
Fantastic. Nice place to anchor.
It's a pleasure.
Your Royal Highness. Nice having you.
It's a pleasure.
It's been a wonderful experience.
Thank you.
See you next time, sir.